Hello my loves and welcome to the With Intention podcast by camisophiaaa. So girlies, if the quality is sounding a little bit better, it's because I have a new podcast mic. I am so glad I invested. Now a little story, okay, because I'm a girly who works, on my phone all the time. I'm always on technology and I am so bad with technology, it is unbelievable. I literally was sat for a good 20 minutes trying to work out why my mic was flashing red, and I now know that it was flashing red because it was muted. It was just on mute the whole time. I was like, why is it not picking up my sound? Why is it flashing red? Girl, it's because it was muted. Anyway, if you need something to make you feel better for being totally useless with technology, then you're welcome because I've got you. Anyway, so a little weekly recap. This weekend I was in Manchester and I went to watch Tate McRae. You guys, this woman is so mesmerizing. That is the only way I could describe it. She is so mesmerizing in her moves, in her outfits. Like, she was just gorgeous. That's the only way I could describe her. She is amazing. I did know, but when you don't realize that you know. But she sang One Day, which I used to love to sing when I was younger, and it was such an OG song. And she wrote it when she was 13 years old. Like, that is mental to me, that someone could be literally just born with this immense talent. Like, how at 13 years old are you actually emotionally intelligent enough to write a song about your feelings about a guy? Like, it's just crazy to me. It was amazing. Anyway, so this week's episode is our last episode in our Becoming Her series. So I wanted to use this episode as an opportunity to really round it up so you all feel like you're set on your journey of becoming the best version of yourself. So I think the main part of becoming her is that the visual you have of her is always changing. And as long as you stick to the main values of her, that is what matters, which is what actually kind of inspired this episode. It is all about growing and glowing and just enjoying the process. And I think a lot of becoming her can be slightly misunderstood because we're making it seem like to be happy or to fully love ourselves or to live our dream life, then we have to be this girl, okay? The girl, whatever she may look like to you. I know for me, she is consistent with her workouts. She is consistent with her healthy habits. She reads, she spends time with her friends, she shows her self-love and has a thriving business. But I think it is all about being present with who you are in the present moment as well, which adds up to this best version of yourself. Because I've said it before, I'll say it again, we cannot pin our happiness or our self-love or our confidence on this future version of ourselves or this future event, because we will never be able to be happy because none of that is coming from the present moment. We need to make sure that we actually take the time to enjoy the process of growth. Now, there is a quote that has been circulating around social media right now that says that I may not be exactly who I want to be yet, but I am exactly who I wanted to be 2 years ago. And that is pretty amazing because it is so true. I feel like on our journey to becoming our best self, we don't realize that every single day that we actually choose to support and love ourselves is a day that we are already her. Because the main part of being her is being someone who shows themselves love and actually makes a conscious effort to get closer to their goals. Now, I am a big believer in the fact that there is 100% a big connection between glowing and growing. Now, when you are being present in the moment and really enjoying the process of growth, even with the ups and downs, that is when you begin to glow. And when you are focusing on your inner self, you are focusing on the glow, okay? It is as simple as that. I've spoken about this before, but one thing that really changed my fitness journey was the mindset shift of working out to look a certain way versus working out to feel a certain way. And naturally, when I focused on feeling good, I started to look good too. It is such a rounded, full circle thing that a lot of people don't realize. When you start to feel good, your energy is higher, your presence is bigger, and you are so much more confident in yourself. And glowing up isn't just about your appearance. It's, you know, it's not just about getting your hair done or getting a new outfit or getting new nails. It's about that internal glow that shines through. It's vibrant, it's loving, it's confident, okay? It's that glow that comes from having genuine happiness in your life. That comes from really making the decision every single day to love yourself, love your body, just love your life for how it is in the present moment. Even if you feel flawed, you still show appreciation for yourself. Now, something that is important, especially here, is enjoying the process and the journey of becoming the best version of yourself, because it is not going to be easy. But the way you are going to be able to move forward from this is accepting that growth is going to be uncomfortable, but that discomfort is necessary, because nothing changes if nothing changes. And thing is, you do naturally have things that, you know, used to be uncomfortable that aren't anymore, that you are now comfortable with. Like, I remember the first time I stepped in the gym or a new workout class, I was absolutely terrified I'd embarrass myself or fart in a Pilates move or use the machine the wrong way. And now I go to these classes and everything is just second nature. I am literally as comfortable there as I am in my home. And yes, it does take time, but there, you know, that is your huge reminder that even if things feel uncomfortable or unfamiliar at first, it just takes time and it will absolutely be okay. You can't stop things just because they are uncomfortable, because if you are constantly comfortable in your life, you are never going to grow, you are never going to progress. And what's the point of going through life if you're not learning things about yourself and about others and about just life in general, and if you are not progressing in any aspect of your life? Now, I do think that progress and growth and glowing, it all comes down to consistency. Now, on your first try, your second try, your third try, when it's something new, you're not going to feel comfortable, but the fact that you keep coming back anyway is amazing, because you understand that you need this challenge in order to grow. So here are some ways that you can be consistent with yourself on your journey to growing and glowing. Firstly, I want you to be patient with yourself. Being consistent doesn't mean that you have to be perfect. There will always be days when you miss a habit or you fall off with your routines, and instead of getting annoyed at yourself or telling yourself that you're a failure and that you have to start again from scratch, which just isn't the case, I want you to practice self-compassion and start again the next day, or start on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Like, it literally doesn't matter. You can start over at any time, any point in your life. It literally does not matter. Progress is never linear, but if you make it your goal to do 1% better every single day, then you are still going to be moving forward. Now, one thing I personally practice is the 2-day rule. It is something that is so simple, but actually it makes a lot of sense when it comes to being consistent. So you can miss it for 1 day, but you can't miss it for 2 days. So let's say you're aiming for 8,000 steps a day. That is your goal, 8,000 steps a day. Now, maybe 1 day you can't get out for a walk. That is completely okay. But if you then miss 2 days in a row, that is not completing your step goal. And, you know, skipping those walks, that could actually potentially become a habit. Consistency is something that is very, very important. And without consistency, you're not going to be able to move towards your goals. I'm going to repeat the quote that I think I have been saying every single week since I heard it. But if someone followed you around for a week, would they think that you take your goals seriously? And, you know, if you're not being consistent, are you taking your goals seriously? It's like saying that you want white, clean, pearly white teeth, but you don't clean your teeth more than once a week. Like, that does not make sense to me. Anyway, So here are some ways that we are actually going to stay consistent. Now, the first tip I have for you is break down your goals into smaller tasks. You're going to divide the big tasks into smaller, manageable tasks just to stop yourself from feeling overwhelmed. I am definitely someone that gets overwhelmed very easily. I think my issue is that I put like a billion things on my to-do list for the day, knowing fully well that even if I had 75 hours in one day, I would not be able to complete that list. And yet I still do this to myself and I get overwhelmed. Anyway, so what we're going to do, we're going to change that. We are going to divide the big tasks into smaller, manageable tasks to stop us feeling overwhelmed. Now, completing these little tasks and ticking them off and doing that for yourself is going to help you feel motivated, okay? It's going to help you have that little dopamine release when you tick that box, because yes, you have completed that manageable small task, but that is amazing. Now, what you're going to do next is you are going to create a routine. I want you to create a daily, a fortnightly, a weekly, a monthly routine, whatever works for you. But in this routine, you are going to incorporate tasks related to your goals. Now, the trick with your routine is you actually need to be consistent with it to see results. Now, when you are consistent in your routine, it's going to help you build momentum, and it actually makes working towards a goal a habit. Like maybe your goal is to have a six-pack, so you're going to do an ab workout every day. I don't know, that's really not a sustainable example, but you see the vibe, okay? You see the vibe. Anyway, next thing you're going to do is track your progress. You are going to keep a record of your progress to stay motivated. Just by tracking these milestones and having a visual, so maybe you could print out a habit tracker, that would be a really good one. Just a little box that you can tick for each habit of the day. So maybe you have a tick box for journaling, meditation, going for a walk, completing your to-do list for the day, going to the post office. I don't know, I'm just honestly listing things that are on my to-do list, but having this visual tracker will just feel so good, okay? And it will also show you how far you've come if you stay consistent with it. I think something that's really hard is a lot of the time we don't track our progress, so we get 6 months down the line of our journey and we're like, I feel like I haven't changed, I feel like I haven't improved or got better. But actually you seriously have. You've glowed the fuck up, okay? You really have, but you don't know because you can't see your progress because you haven't found a way to track it. So that's why that's important. Now, next, you're going to set yourself specific deadlines. Make it feel like an assignment, okay? You've got this deadline. You're going to get in trouble if you don't do this deadline. So basically, maybe for me, I'm self-employed, so I actually have to set deadlines for myself, otherwise I will not do these things, because I am absolutely like a 13-year-old girl that needs the, you know, I need this schedule. I need someone to hold me accountable. And yes, you can hold yourself accountable. So what you're going to do is set yourself specific deadlines for your goals. Create deadlines for the tasks that you need to complete. So those small tasks, you can set deadlines for those tasks to make them easier for you to, you know, achieve. Slay. Duh. Anyway. So this is just going to help you stay on track. It's also going to add a little bit of a sense of urgency, which is going to keep you committed and focused on your goals. Now, the next thing you're going to do is celebrate the little wins, okay? I feel like, as I said before, when we are not tracking our progress, we're not celebrating the little wins and we're not understanding how far we have come. So what we're going to do is actually celebrate the small wins and acknowledge and celebrate our progress, even just the small little victories. Rewarding yourself for achieving these milestones is just going to keep you motivated. It's going to help reinforce this habit of staying consistent with your goals. Now, the reward could literally be a coffee or going out for dinner, or for me, I have actually been rewarding myself with a little protein bar in the afternoon when I complete a task that I've assigned for myself. I'll have a little protein bar. It makes me happy. It cheers me up. It's a nice little sweet treat and it's a reward, okay? And I feel like I need to do that. It's like a reward, like TikTok sound. Anyway, just reward yourself, celebrate the little wins, because the little wins, they build up to the big win, okay? You need these little wins to achieve your goals. So celebrate everything, okay? Life is a celebration. If we are constantly pinning our happiness on future events, it's never going to come. So let's be happy for what we've completed already. Even if you passed your driving test 7 years ago, if you never celebrated it, go take yourself out for dinner and say, well, I just passed my driving test. I'm amazing, you know? Great. Like, why are we waiting for our birthday or Christmas to have a celebration? Every single day is a celebration, and the sooner we realize that, the better. Anyways, now I know that we just spoke about consistency, but what are we trying to actually be consistent with? That's something we need to kind of set up for ourselves. Now, here are 5 daily habits that you are going to use as the foundation you need to grow and glow. Now, the first one is prioritizing quality sleep. I want you to aim for minimum 7 hours, ideally 8 or 9 hours of rest a night. I say this loosely because I am literally a 22-year-old girl. I do not have children. I am self-employed. It's probably me coming from a very privileged position to say that you have to get 9 hours of sleep. Do what works for you. Do what you can manage. Do what you can do, and do what feels good for you. But for me, I aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep, or at least rest a night. Now, ways you can do this if you feel like your brain is constantly on, which you and me both, girl, because I have no work-life balance, but that is okay. Anyway, so you need to create a calming night routine that you look forward to. I've said it a few times, but I have actually transitioned from a morning routine girl to a night routine girl. I love my night routine. I really look forward to it. I'll make myself a little herbal tea. I'll have a hot steamy shower. I'll lather my whole body in moisturizer. I will have a little cube of dark chocolate, maybe if I want a little sweet treat, okay? I will get in like a matching pajama set, because that is also very key. What else do? I do my red light therapy. I'll have my legs up the wall as well, and I'll read on my Kindle. It's great. I love it. It's stunning. It's just great. That's the only way I could describe it. I really look forward to it. So I want to share the love. I want you to look forward to your night routine as well. So mine is very much that. I'll put my Hatch alarm clock on. Anyway, girlies, you know the vibe, okay? The vibes are high. I do record my night routine on my social media if you do want some inspo. Anyway, what I want you to do as well with this is keep your bedroom a screen-free place as much as you possibly can. For me, I find this really important, just because when I go on my phone, I work. Even like, I'll literally wake up, go on my phone and start working. Like, I can't explain it. I just can't explain it. I'm possessed. I'm addicted to my phone. I think this every single night. Anyway, I've now made a rule with myself. The clock strikes 9 p.m. I'll text my boyfriend to say goodnight, and then I will read until I go to sleep. Now, the next thing you're going to do is move with intention. Do you see what I did there? With intention. Anyway, I want you to make a commitment to yourself to try and aim for 20 to 30 minutes of daily movement. I'm actually doing a spring YouTube channel on the 1st of June. So make sure to subscribe to my YouTube, because that will be great over there. It'll be really fun. I'm really excited. I literally spent 3 hours editing day 1 today. So I'm in for an editing treat, but I'm excited for it. 7 days, spring YouTube channel, go check it out. Anyway, the workouts are gonna be around 20 minutes. So if you wanna set yourself up for success with this goal, then go straight for that challenge, because why would you not? It's right there. Anyway, you're going to commit to this amount of daily movement, and what I want you to do is find activities that you love that will actually make you feel excited to go move your body, whether that is yoga, dancing, strength training, walking, running, skipping, I don't know. Do whatever you need to do to make yourself excited to move. When you are excited and when you are romanticizing your life, that is when things become easier. That is when you want to stay consistent, because you are enjoying it. Now, the next thing you're going to do is feed your mind. You can do this with journal practices. Maybe you're dedicating time to a good podcast, wink wink, or maybe you're reading books or listening to TED Talks, just doing things to feed your mind. I think when we get out of school, we're not constantly learning anymore. We're not sat in a classroom with the purpose of learning, so we need to make sure that we are doing things in our day to teach ourselves things, to feed our mind, to make ourselves feel good and intelligent. Next thing is curate your environment. I want you to spend 10 minutes a day tidying or organizing your space. Maybe you make a list of things in your room that you want to organize or tidy. I organized my bookshelf yesterday after work. It was great. I felt fabulous for doing so, but it just genuinely brings me so much peace when my space is clean and organized. I just feel more productive, if that makes any sense. Anyway, other things you could do for your space is add joy to your space, like plants and candles and art and books, just things that really reflect your personality, and maybe when you look at them you think of something nice. Another thing you could do is organize your digital life by decluttering your phone. That one's kind of aimed at myself because I am that annoying girl that says she's type A but also has 10,000 emails in her inbox, but we move. This is definitely one thing I really need to do, but I mainly only really have my essentials for work on my phone because my work and my personal life are just so interlinked. It's quite easy to do, but keeping my phone as quiet as possible is huge for me. I'm always on do not disturb, and my notifications for all social media is off, which is a huge thing that's helped me. And the last foundational tool I'm going to give you is hydrate with intention. Do you see what I did there? Look at me go. Anyway, one thing I've actually been loving that kind of comes, well, it definitely comes under hydration, is actually adding electrolytes into my drinks. I have been rotating between two brands at the moment, which are Pure Sport and Ultra Human. I love the lime flavors. It just feels like a cloudy lemonade. It's, well, a limeade, I suppose, but it's really nice. But I love those brands because I have tried other ones that are super duper salty, and that to me, I can't fathom drinking a whole Stanley cup of salty water. It's just not for me. It's just not a life I chose. Anyway, I did get gifted these, and I know that they are on the pricey side for electrolytes, but another one that I also do love is literally £4 on Amazon, and it's in like a tube, like a proper tube with a red lid. And I get the strawberry and kiwi flavour, but there are loads and loads of flavours. I think the first flavour I ever tried with that company was berry. But I think if you literally just search up on Amazon like electrolyte strawberry and kiwi, it should come up. And it's literally like £4. It's great. Send me a screenshot on Instagram, like DM me if you want me to make sure that it's the right one, but they're really nice. But anyway, I do genuinely think that when you get your routine down, everything else is just going to fall together so nicely because you are actively making the decision every single day to put yourself first. You are showing yourself that you are a priority. Now, I know it is so easy to just say this, you know, focus on the positive, stay consistent. But I know that there are things that come up along the way that stop you from growing or stop you making self-care and self-love a priority in your life. So let's go through some of the challenges that do come up that you kind of can control and also can't, but I'm going to give you tips on the things that you can control basically. So there are internal blockers and external blockers. So the internal ones could be fear, self-doubt, limiting beliefs, perfectionism, procrastination, low self-worth, and then the external blocks could be a toxic environment or unsupportive relationships, or maybe literally a lack of time or resources. But for you to really invest in this journey for yourself, you need to take some time to figure out what these things could be, and then that's how you can work out how to overcome them. So the first piece of advice I would give you for this is to shift your mindset. You need to catch yourself when you are being unkind to yourself and challenge it. Thing is, you need to change you saying I'm not good enough to I'm learning and I am improving. And what I want you to do from here is try and adopt a growth mindset. This is where you are going to view these little setbacks with your habits and reaching your goals, and just see them as part of the process, because as we said at the start of the episode, part of growth is the ups and the downs. Like, it just comes with it. It's being uncomfortable, it's trying new things, you know, it's all in the same territory. It all comes with the growth journey. Now, I want you to review these little setbacks and habits as part of the process. And next, you're going to practice self-compassion. I want you to not beat yourself up if you have a day off. Be kind to yourself. Has anyone else seen that TikTok trend that's like, you catch your friend saying something unkind about themselves, like, I'm so stupid, and then they say, don't talk to my friend like that, and it's supposed to like make you feel bad. So maybe you see yourself as a friend and you catch yourself out when you're saying something unkind about yourself, and you say, don't talk to my friend like that. Like, maybe that's something you could do. But anyway, I want you to do the inner work, whether that is therapy, shadow work, inner child work, even just mindfulness practices. Just do the work to allow you to release any maybe old emotional patterns that you might have that are preventing you from growing. But I think the biggest thing you can really do is protect your energy. Now, this can be literally through keeping your space clean, setting boundaries with other people, and maybe you're doing small things every day to nourish your body with sleep or nutrition or movement. I think the key part for that is actually focusing on doing things that you can control in your journey rather than focusing on the things that you can't control. Now, last but definitely not least, is as hard as it is, and try as hard as you can, I want you to put yourself in environments that support your growth. So maybe try and go to community events with girls who love to create content, if that's something you want to do. Or maybe you want to get back into fitness, so you go to a Pilates class. Or if you want to learn more, join a self-development book club. I think one of the pluses of social media is that you truly have unlimited options in the way you can develop yourself and your mindset. Now, the last thing I do want to touch on before we wrap up today's episode is visualization to shift your reality. The first thing you're going to do is start with clarity. You need to ask yourself what it is you actually want, and how are you going to feel when you have that thing, and why. What is your why? Why do you want it? Now, when you do this, I don't want you to just think, I am successful. Okay, yeah, duh, you're going to be successful. But I want you to be specific. I run a creative business. I work 4 hours a day and I feel energized and fulfilled. Maybe that is your manifestation. Next, you're going to engage all of your senses. Now, I don't know if you knew this, but the brain actually can't fully distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. So what you need to do is engage everything. So see the environment. Where are you? What are you wearing? Hear the sounds. Are people clapping for you? Are there waves from the ocean? Are people laughing? Smell the scents. Is there fresh air? Can you smell coffee beans? Can you smell a fresh book? And if you know what I mean by that, then you know that's a good smell. You know, next you need to feel the textures. So feel the chair that you're sat on, the clothes that are, you know, that are hanging on your body, or the sun that is on your skin. Feel the heat. Taste the moment. Maybe it's a celebratory cake. Maybe you've achieved a massive goal and you're having one of those really cute love heart cakes with the cherries and the icing and the bows. Like, maybe that's what's happening right now, okay? Or a yummy iced latte. I don't know. Whatever floats your boat. Anyway, you're really going to put yourself into the visualization. Now, last but not least, you're going to feel the emotions now. This is a secret tip that I am going to give you. Feel how you'd feel as if it were already true. When it comes to confidence, I've definitely spoken about this before, but it is all about faking it until you make it. So maybe the feelings could be joy, peace, gratitude, freedom, confidence, and let those feelings just flood your body, okay? Feel overwhelmed by these feelings, because having that emotional frequency is actually going to bring these experiences towards you. It's the law of attraction, okay? Anyway, I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about that in a few episodes, so make sure you keep an eye out. Anyway, let's wrap this week's episode up with the quote of the week. Getting out of your comfort zone is getting into your growth zone. And I love that because it is so true, okay? When you are putting yourself out of your comfort zone, you are allowing yourself to have the opportunity to grow. And that is what this whole thing is about, growing and becoming the best version of yourself. So thank you so much for joining me. I love you all, and I will see you next week. Bye.